space peoples. Yeah, I got a giant bag of icy cold cherries and some cold water. I'm just gonna make some coffee in a bit, but not like, I just jumped outside and the clouds had moved. Excuse me, I'm just choking right here. Eating cherries, man. All right, I think I'm okay now. So, Moon is still battling some clouds, but I realized that Jupiter is basically free. So I'm gonna hop over there for a sec. And then I think these clouds have actually moved pretty far to the west. So we're gonna get a bit more moon footage tonight. It was looking so nice. So I'm on top of it. What up, everybody? Just rejoining. Tom, Shock, Ellie, Miguel, hello. That emoji is so funny. Who else? Everybody else. Legalize it. I was gonna say I have coffee, but it's like nothing. There's nothing left of this coffee. Then we're gonna have to brew one. go. What's up there, Jackie? Welcome. What up, Light Moon? Well, it's good to have you tonight, Jackie. I know it's been busy for a lot. Same here, but happy that we get this time to share space and take some of it back. This one of these tracks, got that attitude. Start from the top. Boom. This is coming out, I promise, this week. What's up, y'all? All right. That track was a little trip around very cool chain of craters I put in the labels there, but Theophilus, Cyrillus, and Katharina. Such an interesting formation. That one doesn't yield so many hexagons, but more like the idea of carving shapes into the moon's surface. Kind of the connectedness of it, and of course, you know, these kind of circles on circles on circles. Fat fingers. All right. So what I wanted to do is just go around and we'll take a look at different areas and pay attention to the hexagonal features, and almost as if like I mentioned on the just an hour ago, that once you start looking for the hexagons, it's so obvious that it feels kind of stupid, but right on your screen right now, kind of the intersection between Sea of Serenity up top and Sea of Tranquility below is actually the same thing. It's almost like two hexagons back to back. So I'm going to label that real quick. Cloud's trying to interrupt my geometric discovery or just interpretation. But look, it's so obvious. I mean, let me know what you think in the chat, but you can see the angles, Sea of Serenity, as well as like we're seeing amazing sinuous rill activity, or like the overlapping in the areas of the flat plains, I guess the mare. Not I guess, I know the mare, but just like I guess it's happening within the mare or underneath the mare, these kind of overlapping features, but they also have that sinuous rill shape to them, basically snaking. And this one even has like a forked tongue in a way. Hopefully it'll clear. Mean whilst. I know the clouds are being rather finicky tonight, Jackie, but I've definitely got the need for some astronomy. So I'm gonna be trying to get some footage as much as possible over the next cycle. I really want to try for like a full moon cycle 1 month, but it seems like October might be the month, but just gotta try it. There we go. It's funny, when these shows go so long, I don't tend to go back and listen to the entirety of them anymore. I used to, but I just don't have that time. Now there's so much Electric Universe content, but yeah, I know that I drift off sometimes. I'll say something and then just silence. Like I'm completely aware of it, but I'm just focused on really getting the image right, and sometimes it's really hard to do all things at once. I just want to say I appreciate everybody's I can barely freaking talk tonight. I appreciate everybody's patience with that. And like, I know it can be annoying when people drift off. Yo, what up, somebody somewhere? It just feels like a few fluffy white clouds moving through, just saying hello. Being like, you thought the moon was so pretty, huh? We're gonna take control, spoil your view, but I have some other plans. Let's go see what our Jovian neighbor is up to. that's going on around the proto-planet. Pulling up Stellarium right here. Saturn and Sagittarius. It's back. There we go. Yeah, let me just say, Shockwave is talking about something I really am interested in. So he's saying, Halton Arp was the first person to see a physical connection of plasma between a galaxy and a quasar, and due to the redshift of the quasar, if it was not possible to have a connection, as the redshift indicated the quasar was billions of light years away from the galaxy. So how is it that they were physically connected? I'm just going to post the link of the lecture that Halton Arp gives about this, but essentially in current cosmology, it's thought that you have these different types of objects like quasars and galaxies and birthplace of stars. For example, like M42 trapezium cluster is the birthplace of stars apparently. And what Halton Arp was showing is that galaxies are really birthed on the arms of larger galaxies, and that you have really interconnected systems in space, just like we do on Earth and just like we have in the body. And I'm just looking for this link right here.
Is it you?
He's also a very, very witty man. Just a shame how they treated him in the astronomical community. And there are so few videos of him actually speaking, but he's truly an incredible person talking about all these different things in a time when no one really just had any concept of this stuff. Although I know I did see some people say that Halton Arp was actually working off other people's work, but give props to those people too. Anyway, lots going on tonight, an amazingly rich astronomical session. Alright, I'm getting the Stellarium finally working. It's been glitching on me. Alright, here we go. We got Saturn. What can we see tonight? So very brightest point, let's take that as the reference. That's Titan at the 6 o'clock. And then above that to the left, that's Dione. Above that is Rhea. And then to the left of that, at the top left of that, is Eyepieces. And then underneath Saturn to the right is really Tethys. And I think we're seeing Enceladus and Mimas, which is amazing. And I don't think Hyperion is visible. But yeah, I'm seeing 6 to 7 moons. 6, 1, 2, 3. I want to say 6 moons of Saturn. 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, 6. What's up, Carolina? How's it going? Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Nice to see you. All right, Shockwave is correcting me. No, my friend, quasars are birthed from the center of galaxies. Okay, thank you. I have it mixed up. Every time I watch him, I think I get it down, and then when I come to the show, there's so much going on, my brain mixes it all up. So it's still sinking in. Thanks for correcting me. But again, it's more about challenging the current model of physics using observational science is more kind of what Halton Arp represents for me, on top of course, his research, which seems very solid. And I always think about, light travel and whether light travels at all in conjunction with redshift being mischaracterized and misinterpreted. So I'm still learning, but those two factors make the universe much smaller, make determining distance in space difficult, and change the origin and the expansion of the universe. Eyepieces. I love it. I'm the one who always is really so uptight about the language, and you're correcting me. But like, Eyepieces. Okay, got it. That's good. That's a good way to put it. Nerd correcting nerds. Love it. Let's put some chill tunes. How about me? I'm pretty... Shockwave, I'm a pronunciation not C. The not C. All right, this is Of the Water, and I'm gonna take a look outside. Man, it is cooking in here, but I realize it's better like this. Carolina, I'm good. All chill.
Got some
Hey, what's up everybody? So it just cleared up, looking nice. It left a little bit of wetness, but yeah, Shockwave, I was on Saturn with that whole beautiful moon setup. Maybe you missed it, but I'll definitely go back. Chow Yun Cat, what's going on? What's up, Mark Rowe? And whoever else just joined. Hope you guys are feeling well. Look at this beautiful moon. So many cool features. But particularly tonight, I just want to make sure we hammer home. We hammer it home that Mare Crisium, this really prominent feature that really just seems so obvious to be a hexagon, is actually hexagonal in nature. And that means it has some fundamental latticing or crystal structure, and that means the formation of it, doesn't seem to be some sort of impact that would have a much more unnatural edge. And it seems like this feature was really grown from the center outwards in this kind of hexagonal form which appears in nature. So, visual evidence for the electric universe, really simple stuff. And then I'm kind of postulating, but it really looks like it to me, where you have the little crater Proclus to the left of Mare Crisium, and that almost looks like a double-lobed feature, so almost a mirror of Crisium, and it looks like an infinity sign and kind of those nebula images that we see. Shockwave says, late heavy bombardment, my ass. It's so funny because you do see that video from NASA Goddard, which shows that animation of all the Mare basins forming. For me, it was always about how large was the object that impacted the moon, that created, Sea of Serenity, or even Sea of Crises, Mare Crisium that we're looking at dead center. That object must be so freaking huge. How did it leave such a perfectly shaped scar on the moon? I've always had an issue with that, but you can't really find answers. I want to show this other feature, which I said earlier. I'm just going to double check. That is Mare Nectaris, is very pentagonal looking. And that is, I'm going to just try and center it on the screen. Definitely clouds are not having it tonight. They're like, you're trying to have a good time with the moon. No way. Go away. Let me keep some tunes going on. I've been around the world, on top of all the same. I know without your heart, tell me never say. I know it ever days beyond the read, even if I feel incomplete. Soon, difference we saw, difference we exist, difference without. I hold you up to breathe, I hold you up to the light you need, to you need. Shut the hell up. Now it's clear again, so I'm just going to take advantage of clear skies to talk about these features. So largely was talking about Mare Crisium tonight being a hexagon, but really, if you just squint, you'll see that to the left of Mare Crisium, which is really half of Sea of Tranquility, that's also another hexagon. And then to the left of that, there's an even larger hexagon, which is split right down the middle of Mare Tranquillitatis. So dead center of your screen is Sea of Tranquility, and Let me know if you can see what I'm talking about. So start with Crisium, then go to the left, and you'll see that kind of hexagon, and then another one that cuts in the middle and is much larger. It's pretty crazy. I haven't noticed that before. I've definitely noticed like the peculiarity of Proclus, the small craterlet to the mouth of Crisium, but because it has that sharp, defined rays that kind of make that sharp corner. But how crazy that that's the case. And so further than that, what's really great is that you see these amazing kind of lightning bolt figures, several of them. This is just incredible. I love the way that like it almost feels like now that I know what to look for, it's much more apparent. Now I've seen these features before, but look at these crazy like Lichtenberg sinuous rill type patches in what north, the north of the screen is Sea of Serenity. Let me just label these, even though I know it's dumb simple. Right, so Sea of Serenity, its own hexagon, and then Sea of Tranquility, its own hexagon, and then bottom corner Sea of Crises. So it's pretty nuts. So in Sea of Serenity, what I was talking about with the sinuous little lightning bolt figures, let's zoom in on that. I love it. Shockwave says, the thunderbolt of the god came down to a body in space at a 90-degree angle that's straight up and down. I guess so. It's insane, right? Hey, what's going on, Justin? Taking a look here at Sea of Serenity. You got, I want to say that's Rima Prins, and then this whole forked lightning bolt right in the center of the screen. It's pretty amazing. I'm trying to get clarity on it. It's not super clear. Let me see what the situation looks like outside. It's just a few light clouds, so that's not too bad. I actually think like if it clears up a bit more, I should just zoom in and get some nice shots of Posidonius. This is the crater we're looking at right here that I was going to talk about on the previous stream. So this one's epic. Let me change up the lens and we'll get much closer and take a look at this very particular crater. This definitely, to me right now, doesn't really look hexagonal, but you can see the bottom right corner. If you squint a little bit, it is a bit like it has a straight wall with a corner, but not 100% hexagonal. However, the one right underneath Posidonius definitely is a hexagon. Yo, what's up, Derek Leonard? Thumbs up, thanks. And make sure you're checking this out in 4K. If you don't, you might miss out on a little bit of the detail, and we wouldn't want that. 10:30 in a sweltering South Florida, eating cherries. totally know what you mean. That was just like, once in a while, I do this exercise of like, what can I build an entire song from one motif, which is like a little lick, and that's one of them. I always enjoy listening. Oh damn, pedal board, volume pedal. Let's see. Shockwave says, TPS, get on our Discord, and the Electric View will use your images if you give Neil permission. Of course. Yeah, totally. Just gotta let me know when to get on Discord. I was gonna email you just anyway. I saw your email, so thanks. I'm really, yeah. I try and do this stuff when I can, so I will reach out. But that's super cool, thank you. So much to talk about. I always feel like I'm falling behind. And of course, like, you have to really watch some of those old videos a whole bunch of times for it to really sink in. Sometimes I feel like I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. That's why it's so funny and simple to talk about lunar geology, because I can just point at it and be like, look, it's hexagons. Check it out, everybody. Check it out. Let's throw some Old DJM. Here's an old one. There's like an old bass riff. Actually, what I was thinking, and I could help curate, because I know like I have like a whole ton of old videos. There's about, I want to say like close to 600 videos on the channel, plus I have a ton of archive footage. So what I was thinking is that if people need to use the footage, like Thunderbolts or you guys or whoever, that I'm able to kind of search and find either like raw footage or at least a playlist of particular types of events. And I've already done that to a degree, so if you want to, like my playlist of best of has like a ton of transits and different astronomical events, things that you can really look at and analyze. So I think for the crater stuff, I'm going to put together a lot more work. Like I have one of the channel trailer right now is actually a pretty old video I did back in 2016 when I just was like super convinced on Electric Universe scarring. I was just like, I gotta put together a compendium of really good imagery showing lunar scarification, but I really didn't have the language to articulate in that video. But it does have the imagery. So what I really want to do is just like make little clips. For example, like this of Mare Crisium. Basically, there are different features on the moon that require filming at different phases and at different times of the night to get the correct angle to really see it very clearly. And I think really clear footage is the answer in some circumstances. So I'm gonna chill, play some old grooves. What else do I got? Called Describe It To Me. That's an old one. Early TakeBackSpace days. I was gonna say EU days. I really dig, like, they were still a little bit loose, and Wall Thornhill just has some really interesting early videos. That's what Duplicat's talking about. Alright. Describe it to me. are you? Yeah, no problem, super. Actually, let me link the playlist as well. This one's pretty dope. This has all of the old ones. So we got that cool trio. Theophilus, Cyrillus, and Katharina. Just cameras rotated. Actually, I think I'm gonna readjust the camera back to it. question again, chat, and catch you on the next one. I'll check my email after the show. Peace out, man. Love it. I'm blushed. Oh, I'm bushed. Either way, blushed, bushed. Peace. Cool guitar lads. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions and check the description of the video and older videos if you want to find out some more. It's kind of a large section of videos that are about, like, actually, I don't know, the playlist is a little bit intimidating, but if you feel like going in that deep dive, you can check out the playlist archive. Some cool clouds moving in over the moon, but I feel like we'll get to see some more Jupiter and Saturn. Oh damn, Shockwave, I promised you some Saturn. If you're still around, I'll head over there for a sec. Let's do it. I got so distracted with the moon setting. Yo, what's up, everybody? So I was zoning out with y'all on this track, watching the clouds go over the moon. So it's setting right now, and it's sweltering where I'm at. I got the fan going, but it's not even close to enough. Either way, the moon's looking great. I was all hyped to do a full-on geometry of the moon show, but the moon's gonna set, and I'm kind of enjoying relaxing and watching it. But suffice to say, what I talked about earlier, these insane hexagonal features, like essentially all of Mare Crisium, Sea of Serenity, Sea of Tranquility, also hexagons. Just incredible. All of the Mares basically are hexagonal, which essentially defies the whole impact theory. Very interesting. These damn cherries are delicious. They're delicious, Morty, these cherries. Hey, thanks, Leo. Thanks, Guitar Lots. Yeah, so in the electric universe, there are some people who think that, like Wal Thornhill even, who's a proponent, one of the originators of electric universe cosmology, has talked about a hollow Jupiter and also hollow planets in general. And it would make sense that the moon was hollow and the Earth was hollow in a sense of the way we think about an atomic structure, so a nucleus and a shell. So it wouldn't shock me if the moon was actually hollow, but it's really hard to tell if that's, from Earth. So all we can see is the outside for now, and potentially what happens if it goes plasma glow mode. I don't think we want to live to see that. Yeah, I know some people think it's an artificial spaceship, and it could be, or like it could be an occupied planet, but I don't know if somebody actually built the moon. It looks good in a book and in a science fiction, like sci-fi render, but when you look at the moon for real, it's very impressive, and it feels like a real structure. It feels very volatile and active, and there's a lot to learn about it. So hollow moon, sure. Artificial moon built by like a person, like a human race or an alien race, I don't think so. Although the story is very, it strikes all the right chords of that kind of super sweet conspiracy talk, but ultimately I don't think that's the case. The thing is, like, the moon capturing Earth or something like that is actually way more interesting. I actually heard something even crazier, is that the moon created Earth. Now that would be amazing. Imagine the Earth is tiny and we just think we're big. It's just all backwards. I was like, what? My world is turned upside down. I was thinking, like, what's the kind of conspiracy that would blow people's minds apart? And I think it's actually something where we're not even on Earth right now. We're actually on Saturn. Or like, we've been living on Ganymede the whole time. Earth never existed. I'm like, how can you top the crazy theories that we already have? That's getting really monotonous. I think there's this notion I used to have about, there's this one cat, Corey, who used to do, we live on the lens, inside the lens of an eye. And he used to think we lived inside that, and I thought that was a very interesting idea. But then I realized, like, I just think it's actually a possibility still. Like, we could be inside the eye of a huge creature that looks like us. That'd be really fascinating. But people don't talk about that theory very often. I think, like, if you actually look at the shape of the eyeball and the lens, you could imagine that we're basically a stream of light coming into a tiny globule in a giant eyeball. But that's a weird theory. Also, we've been living on Ganymede the whole time, or Tethys. There's no Earth at all. Let's get back to the music. Of course, I'm totally kidding. I'm just not spreading, don't mean to spread rumors. Yeah, so many hexagons, Ellie, right? Let me actually set this contrast a little bit better. It is setting but so apparent because Mare Crisium is so large. And then, of course, the inverted mirror double lobe of Proclus and Sea of Tranquility. Guitar Lot says, I heard that observatory telescopes don't focus on the moon for public view. So I've been up to the telescopes in Mauna Kea, and they don't let you into the big telescopes, of course, much to my dismay. And of course, they're private scopes, but you do get up there and you spend the whole day getting up there. And then you get to the visitor center, and I think I used an 11-inch, and they had a couple of 8 inches set up, but I think they were Meads. It was really unimpressive, I remember. What was much more impressive was like standing on the side of the road and looking at the star field. That was just unbelievable. Like, I've never seen anything like that ever. And I probably won't ever see it again once I go back to Hawaii. But really, up near Mauna Kea, the sky like filled with stars. It's so insane that we get so little footage from telescopes, like the big scopes, that I don't know, it feels insulting. The same way people feel about conspiracies. One of my huge pet peeves is like how little footage we get from the big scopes. People think we get a lot, but we get so little. I mean, I've had a scope for 5 years, and I've gotten tons more footage than mainstream science puts out. Like, so much more. It's not even like a comparison. Same thing with P&K, and a bunch of other channels have put out more moon footage than NASA puts out. How does that make sense? I get why people are pissed off, Sounds like music from the Warriors. Love that. Microwave Soda, what's up? Welcome. Man, it is cooking, and I need to stretch my legs, so I'll be away from the keyboard for a second. I'm gonna let this tune play, actually. Let it zone out for a bit, and let the moon set, and I'll be back for Jupiter. Yo, what's up, everybody? So that was the moon setting behind some clouds. It was pretty nice. I wish I had the wide shot on that, but it's all right. I saw it in real life. Whatever this means. What's up, Vicky? Nice to see you. So I wanted to talk about what y'all are chatting about, which is the large telescope that belongs to the Vatican. So there are a bunch of different ones. There's the Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope. It's the 1.8 meter Alice P. Lennon Telescope in the Thomas J. Bannon Astrophysics Facility, known together as the Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope, the VAT. So this one is situated, it is a Gregorian, damn, I can barely speak tonight. It is a Gregorian telescope observing in the optical and infrared, situated on Mount Graham in southeast Arizona, United States. It achieved its first starlight to pass through the telescope in 1993. VAT is part of the Mount Graham International Observatory and is operated by the Vatican Observatory, one of the oldest astronomical research institutes in the world. So, in partnership with the University of Arizona. Now, a lot of people do have I don't want to do that. I have seen videos where people accuse the University of Arizona and the Vatican Observatory of doing shady stuff. However, I think the more simple thing is that we don't really get to see the data from that observatory, and that's really more what's annoying about it. However, I think there was an article about Lucifer being their infrared binocular telescope. I'm going to look into that. Okay, so, and also this is Wikipedia, so grain of salt. So, this is something else. Let's see. Right. So the original name was called Lucifer, and now it's called the Large Binocular Telescope. So they did change the name, and it was just an acronym for, Large Binocular Telescope Near Infrared. Anyway, either way, that's the scope we're talking about. So Large Binocular Telescope is an optical telescope for astronomy located on a 10,700 foot Mount Graham in the Pinaleno Mountains of southeastern Arizona, United States. It is part of the Mount Graham International Observatory. Large Binocular Telescope is currently one of the world's most advanced optical telescopes, using two 8.4 330-inch wide mirrors with centers 14.4 meters apart, and it has the same light gathering ability as an 11.8 meter wide single circular telescope. That's unbelievable, right? So it's 464-inch telescope. For the reference, we're looking through an 8-inch right now. So when you look up images from this telescope, the annoying part is that it's very hard to see what they see. Is it a conspiracy? Who knows? And do we have the right to see that data? Also, that's debatable. But are they gathering data that's unbelievable and incredible shots of the moon that you can probably see super up close on the surface? I would bet that that's the case. So I understand why people are suspicious. It's very hard to gauge one way or another, but I think that's the simplest takeaway, is that these scopes have power to the point where it's almost absurd, and yet you can't see pictures of Saturn or Jupiter or Neptune or Ceres or asteroids or space debris or ISS or the moon from these telescopes, and that's just one of them. So they're all on the exoplanet search. And that's what I was talking about yesterday. Duplicat asked me what I thought of exoplanet research, or eat all your fish. And I was saying that I feel like exoplanet research is interesting, but it really occupies all these large scope times. And people who are cool don't spend time looking at the moon because they're like, yeah, well, whatever. but they do all this time on deep space, which, you know, it's hard to argue, but really it would be amazing to see this shot with like a 400-inch scope. Like, how close can you get to Jupiter from Earth? And nobody talks about this on the news. And when you see pictures from the websites of these telescopes, it's usually pictures of the actual scope, and it's not what the scope sees. That's really a huge pet peeve of mine. Same thing with Mount Wilson, same thing with Subaru, same thing with Keck, same thing with the large array, VLT, and just look up these websites for the big telescopes, then look at the gallery, and you'll see that most of them, you know, do have some images, but it's few and far between. It's always bothered me. But what can you do except take more footage? I mean, look at this shot. Like, nobody, I don't want to say nobody, but the government, if they're taking shots of Jupiter that look like this, and they're not sharing it, then this is what I can do. Right? Like, it's so stupid, but it's also incredible. Let me quickly remind y'all what the moons are and remind myself. I'm pretty sure it's Callisto on the left, but let's check. All right, Callisto all the way on the left with Ganymede grouped up. I love this kind of grouping. This is the 2-2 dice formation. So Callisto, Ganymede on the left, Io and Europa closer to Jupiter. So Europa is the closest, and then Io. So cool. Man, this track I haven't played in so long. Enough of that. Let's find some dark tunes. That's when I was happy in life. Here's the moody version.
Better believe me, this is what you seek. Love what you know, you got to learn how not to fall. Better believe it, want to tell you all. Think what you want, but I can listen to the news. Better believe me, so they cannot lose.
Jackie, take it easy. Have a good night. What up, Copper Tropicals? Welcome, welcome. Oh, Guitar Lots, take care as well. Oh, I misread that. Jackie, I think you're staying. Guitar Lots, take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. Catch you on another one, I hope. And definitely check out the description of the video for some cool links and some of the music that you heard. And I'll catch you soon. All right, let's check out some of this 3 for the night. Go for a little bit. Saturn, I think this is longer.
All this works until
Start winding it down. Wind it. Wrap it up, wrap it up. What is it, 11, quarter to 12? I could literally stream all night, but I'm not gonna. But we got this really cool shot of Jupiter with all the moons in the 2x2 dice formation. That's just, I named it that. But the Great Red Storm is showing as well, and that's really cool. What's up, Salvador? And yeah, I wish we could get that hexagon, but no so-called dice. Let's zoom in on Jupiter and see some red storm, huh? But man, I love the moon configuration like this. All right, so this is probably the best shot of Jupiter in a while for me. You can see that very clearly the upper part of the storm unraveling, and you can definitely see all the junk on the lens, but I think I'm gonna keep it right here, right under the junk on the lens. Damn, so cool. I know I'm gonna find a perfect song for this red storm. That's pretty good. Take it back. My tracking, I don't know, it was pretty okay, but I think I lost it because I moved the scope around, trying to keep it steady. There we go.
Casino. flip it for the edge, flip it for the world, flip it for the edge, flip it for the world. How did you know me? 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 How did you know me?
Yo, what's up? What's up, Jello? Yeah, that was some Flip It for the Edge from that old album. I got double magnification on the 3X Barlow, and it's pretty steady. Pushed up the saturation, or the gamma a little bit. And we got a really nice close-up of the Great Red Storm on top of all the cool shit we saw earlier on the moon. It's been, so far this week has been great. Back at the astronomy trip, I love the way that we're watching this Great Red Storm unfurl. This is the edge of space. Nothing more current. I love the way news always tries to be current, but they never show anything real. They're always just pointing to some graphic, but here we got the actual thing. And what's crazy is now that it's zoomed in so close, when I zoom out, it's gonna look much crispier. It's that kind of weird mental trick. So let's zone out a little bit to Prism Dagger.
Say a word, you can love other people. life, shining through the twisted jagged losing my mind, crawling through the chasm, dragon chasing my ride, moving through the plasma, dragon rhythms in time, rhythms in time.
It's a magic.
All right, everybody. I think that's it for me tonight. Good show. Good show. Even though the last hour has just been chilling. Sometimes you gotta just chill. I talked a lot yesterday. A lot. For those of you who missed it, I addressed a bunch of flat Earth concepts, which I never really talk about. And then today, earlier, I talked about hexagonal craters and hexagonal features on the moon and showed very simple examples for electric universe stuff. I decided to recap each show just a little bit. Check out the description for anybody who's new. Hit the bell to be notified for live streams, because that's pretty much the content that I put out for now. And music is coming this week. A lot of the stuff you heard and a couple of songs you haven't. So thanks, everybody. Peace. I'll go through roll call while I find a song. Let's see. Damn, this one's old. This is a really old one. Good night, Salvador. Good night, Tim. Good night, more Jello, please. Good night, Ellie Wynn. Good night, Tom. Good night, Vicky. Good night, Leia. Good night, Jackie. Good night, Chow Yun Cat and Light Moon. Guitar Lots. And everyone else who stopped by. Have a great day tomorrow. We missed you, Vision, and a couple of other people. Take care, everybody. See you on the next trip.